You're about to find out why that key you've been searching for 10 minutes has been in your hand the whole time. And no, it's not just getting older. There's a secret that doctors and neurologists have known for decades. I'm Naim, and over the past 15 years I've studied hundreds of cases of memory loss in adults. What I've discovered will shock you. 70% of people who report memory problems after age 50 don't have any neurological disease. So, what's really going on? The answer lies in a complex interplay of factors that no one can explain to you in simple terms. When your levels of B12, B6, and folate are low, your brain produces a toxic substance called hormone. There's a crucial difference between normal forgetfulness and real cognitive decline that doctors rarely explain. Normal forgetfulness is when it takes you 30 seconds to remember where you put the remote. Cognitive decline is when you hold the remote and can't remember what it's for. This substance eats away at your synapses like acid eating away at metal. How? Through a process called crystallization of intelligence. Botend. Here's the kicker: these changes are adaptive, not degenerative. He has documented cases of people who completely recovered their memory in 6 months by simply changing for daily habits. The brain is reorganizing itself for a new phase of life. When it takes you 5 seconds longer to process information, that's not decline, it's neural maturity. If you remember it instantly, your memory is working perfectly. If you can't remember it even with clues, then there could be a real problem. This happens because your mature brain stores information in more complex, interconnected networks. It's like having a giant library versus a small bookshelf. It takes longer to find a specific book, but you have much more content available. When you stop judging yourself for every little oversight, your brain literally works better. Chronic stress produces cortisol, which destroys neurons in the hippocampus. Relaxing about your memory physically protects your brain. 95% of people over 50 pass this test with flying colors, but they still worry unnecessarily. People who stop fighting their aging memory and start working on it report 40% lower stress levels and 60% higher life satisfaction. Your brain didn't evolve to process 5,000 pieces of information a day through smartphones, emails, notifications, and multitasking. Second, most memory problems are reversible through simple changes in diet, sleep, and exercise. Third, your brain at 50 has capabilities you never imagined. You just need to learn how to use them. When you can't remember the past perfectly, you naturally become more present in the present moment. My brain is saving energy for more important things. The question isn't whether it's working at whether you reusing it wisely. Your mission now is to spread this truth. Aging is not about declining, it's about evolving. And now that you know the truth, you can finally stop fighting your memory and start celebrating its wisdom. When you have trouble remembering a name, instead of worrying, celebrated it means you have a rich and complex neural network. This mindful presence is associated with greater satisfaction, deeper relationships, and a sense of fulfillment. The problem is not the ability to store information, but rather the efficiency of the search and retrieval system. When you stop worrying about perfect memory, your brain frees up resources for creative thinking and problem solving. Many artists, writers, and inventors produce their best work after age 54. This very reason. Studies show that people over 50 process memories differently, prioritizing positive emotional content. This isn't a glitch, your brain is optimizing itself for happiness and well-being. There's a simple test that neurologists use to distinguish between normal and pathological forgetfulness, but they rarely share it with patients. It's called the semantic cue test. The truth is, 90% of what you call memory loss is actually natural brain. Your brain isn't breaking down, it's getting more sophisticated. It's trading speed for depth, quantity for quality, multitasking for focus. Studies show that the human brain of 2024 processes 300% more information per day than it did in 1950. It's like trying to run 50 programs at once on a computer. It's going to crash. There are 3 specific types of forgetting that are actually signs of higher intelligence. First, directed forgetting, when your brain automatically discards irrelevant information to focus on what matters. Second, proactive interference, when old knowledge temporarily gets in the way of new information, showing that you have a solid knowledge base. Third, deep processing, when you take longer to access memories because you're remaking more complex connections. Your brain is comparing this new information to decades of accumulated experience. It's an upgrade, not a downgrade. While your processing speed may slow slightly, your ability to make complex connections and solve problems increases exponentially. It's like trading a race car for a tank. You lose speed, but you gain power and according to him, what we call senior moments are actually signs that the brain is prioritizing important information over irrelevant details. The scariest part, standard blood tests don't detect this deficiency until it's in an advanced stage. Get ready to understand once and for all why your memory seems to be failing, and more importantly, what to do to reverse it, but that you've rarely been told in plain sight. Recent research from Harvard University found that 83% of memory problems in people over 50 are directly related to controllable factors. First factor, chronic inflammation. When you consume too much sugar, your brain produces inflammatory proteins that literally burn out the neural connections responsible for memory. It's like melting the wires of a computer from the inside out. In the next few minutes, I am going to reveal the 7 silent signs of memory loss that start long before the age of 50 and that 90% of people completely ignore. Stay until the end, because what you're about to discover could completely change your relationship with forgetfulness. If you're over 40 and have ever found yourself walking into a room and not remembering what you were doing there, or forgetting the names of people you know, this video is for you. Here, the first shocker. Your memory, aging. Being sabotaged. The second, devastating factor. Insulin resistance in the brain. Your brain needs glucose to function, but when you develop insulin resistance, which happens to 60% of adults after age 45, your brain literally starves. Neurons starve to death while you eat normally. That's why people with diabetes are 2.5 times more likely to develop dementia. Third factor that no one associates. Vitamin deficiency. Now comes the part that will change your perspective forever. But here's the secret. Your brain at 50 may be more powerful than it was at 20. The problem is that our society is structured to value speed, not depth. There's also the phenomenon of modern cognitive overload. Dr. Daniel Amen, a world-renowned neurologist, has discovered through more than 200,000 neuroimaging scans that the brains of people over 50 show specific patterns of activity that have been misinterpreted for decades. Neuroscientist Dr. Lisa Moscone of Cornell University has revolutionized our understanding by demonstrating that the female brain undergoes specific changes during menopause that temporarily affect memory. Dr. Majid Fatoui of Johns Hopkins has shown that the hippocampus, the memory center, can grow by up to 30% in adults over 50 through specific interventions. Most impressive, Dr. Gary Small of UCLA has found that people with memory problems after age 50 often have more accurate memories than younger people when properly tested. Now, I'm going to reveal something that will completely change the way you view Here's how it works. When you forget someone's name, I give you a clue. But here's the real secret that no one tells you. There's also the tip of the tongue phenomenon. When you know something, but you can't access it right away. Here's a life-changing revelation. Accepting and understanding the natural changes in memory after age 50 may be the greatest gift you can give your mental health. The first psychological benefit, release of cognitive performance anxiety. Second benefit, developing emotional wisdom. The third surprising benefit, increased creativity. The fourth benefit is profound, acceptance of the expanded present. So what doesn't anyone tell you about memory loss after 50? The 3 key points you should take away from this video. First, occasional forgetfulness is normal and even beneficial. It shows that your brain is prioritizing important information. From now on, when you forget where you put something, instead of thinking, my memory is bad, think, remember, your brain is not a computer that slows down with age. It's a wine that gets better with age. If this video changed your perspective on memory and aging, please like it and share it with someone who needs to hear it.